Use headphones for a better experience.
You never truly know the history of a place until it decides to reveal itself to you. When I moved into a new apartment, I thought I was leaving my old life behind. Instead, I uncovered someone else's, and it was a story I'd become a part of. What started with a forgotten diary spiraled into a nightmare I couldn't escape, teaching me a chilling truth about trust, curiosity, and the consequences of ignoring warnings. I moved into the apartment on a cloudy Wednesday afternoon. It wasn't much, just a small studio in an older building downtown, but it was all I could afford after a messy breakup. The landlord was nice enough, though his eyes darted nervously when I asked about the last tenant. "They left in a hurry," he said, offering no further explanation. The apartment smelled faintly of mildew and something sweet, like old perfume. It was unsettling, but I told myself it was nothing a deep clean couldn't fix. While unpacking, I noticed a small hatch in the closet ceiling. Curiosity got the better of me, and I pulled it open to find a dusty box inside. The box contained old trinkets, a rusted key, a broken locket, and a leather-bound diary. The diary was dated 5 years ago, with entries written in neat, deliberate handwriting. The first entry read, "This apartment has a strange energy. It feels like someone is always watching." I chuckled nervously and closed the diary, chalking it up to the overactive imagination of the previous tenant. But something about it stuck with me. That night, I heard faint whispers coming from the walls. At first, I thought it was my neighbors, but the building was eerily quiet. The whispers grew louder over the next few days, always around midnight. They weren't words, just indistinct murmurs that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. One night, I opened the diary again. The entries detailed similar experiences, whispers, shadowy figures, and an overwhelming feeling of dread. The most chilling part? Every entry ended with the same line, "They're coming closer." While cleaning, I discovered a locked door hidden behind an old bookshelf. The rusted key from the box fit perfectly. Inside was a small, windowless room with faded wallpaper and a single chair facing a blank wall. Scratches covered the floor as if something or someone had been dragged across it repeatedly. On the wall, written in the same handwriting as the diary, was a message, "Don't stay after midnight." Ignoring the warning, I stayed up past midnight, determined to prove to myself that it was just a prank or some leftover paranoia from the last tenant. At exactly 12 a.m., the whispers returned, louder, more insistent. Shadows danced across the walls, but there was no light source to cast them. Suddenly, my phone lit up with a notification, an email from an unknown sender. The subject line read, "Get out now." Before I could react, the shadows converged, forming a humanoid figure in the corner of the room. Its face was blank, but I felt its gaze pierce through me. Terrified, I grabbed the diary and flipped to the last page. The ink was smudged as if written in a hurry. "If you're reading this, it's already too late. They feed on fear, and by now they've chosen you. The only way out is..." The writing stopped abruptly, leaving the rest of the page blank. The next morning, I confronted the landlord. He looked at me with wide, terrified eyes. "I told them not to rent this place out again," he muttered. "The last tenant disappeared. The one before that, well, they didn't make it, and now it's you." Determined to escape, I packed my belongings and left the apartment. But as I drove away, I noticed something strange. The streets all seemed to lead back to the same building. No matter which direction I turned, I ended up in front of the apartment complex. The whispers followed me, growing louder each time I tried to leave. Desperate, I opened the diary one last time. A new entry had appeared, written in trembling handwriting. "They're here. The end is near." Beneath it, in bold letters, was today's date. That night, the shadows returned, more vivid and threatening than ever. The blank-faced figure approached, its outstretched hand beckoning me. I realized the truth. The diary wasn't just a record, it was a trap. Each new tenant who read it became part of the story, feeding the entity with their fear. Curiosity can be dangerous. In today's world of oversharing and digging into others' lives, we often ignore the boundaries that protect us. Some things are better left unknown, and not every mystery needs solving.
Don't miss out on the scares. Go subscribe to the channel for terrifying stories, legend breakdowns, and more. Bell turn on notifications and experience horror like never before.